Hi, I'm James with DenverHomestay.com. Are you looking to buy your first home? Have you not bought a home for years? Well, here are the 6 things you need to know before you buy your next home. Now let's get into it. Thank you for joining me today. Please hit that like button, show a little bit of love to the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you can always be updated on the current information on the Denver metro area housing market. Rule number 1 when you buy your first home: do not worry about the paint. If it's painted pink, a pink elephant, that's fine. You can repaint it. Paint isn't entirely that expensive, and a lot of times you can pretty much do it yourself on a residential home. Carpet, flooring, also things you can change. Maybe you might not want to change it right away, but don't let that discourage you from a home. These are simple fixes that are just cosmetic that will scare away other home buyers and will get you up in front and make sure you get the best deal. And you can move into a house that will be quite a bit less expensive, and then later on you can save up the money and replace that flooring, that paint the cabinets, all these other things you can do. Replace the countertops. Those are all things you can do very easily at a later date, or don't let it discourage you from the home you love. Try and look past that. You're gonna get the best deals if you can look past that stuff. As a real estate investor for the past decade, I look for the stuff that other people will look past. I want the worst paint there is everywhere. I want purple carpet throughout, just everything like that. Or cabinets are old, countertops not great, simple stuff like that, and the layout's good. I want that house. I'm putting an offer on it. And that's why I've learned to maximize the amount of net profit I will have on a property. Even if you're not looking to sell right away, life changes, something you should look for regardless. So you can change the paint, you can change the drapes, you can change the carpet, but you cannot change where that house sits. Pay attention to the location. Make sure if it's the schools you want, if that's important to you, pay attention to that. If you don't want to live next to a busy street, pay attention to that. If it's too far away from work, and if it's also too far of a commute, you don't want to drive 45 minutes, and you can't do that twice a day, move on. Find a house that you love. More importantly, find a house you can deal with in the meantime, depending on your budget. You can replace the other things later, paint, everything else, but you cannot move a house very easily. Another thing that you need to be aware of when you go look at a house is check out the floor plan. See how it's laid out. Do you like how it's laid out? Is it the concept that you want? Are all the bedrooms on the first floor and you don't want any bedrooms on the first floor? Well, it's not going to be very easy or cost effective to add a second story to that home and add bedrooms up there. Even something simple, let's say your kitchen, you want to open it up to an open floor plan. Well, doing that, if you're going to start moving walls and everything else, you're going to need to talk with the building inspector, probably pull a permit, and you're going to have to match the flooring. You're going to have to match the sheetrock. You're going to have to move electrical, plumbing, even something as simple as just matching the sheetrock. Sounds very simple, but then you have all sorts of different textures. You got knockdown, orange peel, and all of these are somewhat difficult to match to make it blend just right. So once you get all of that all together, something that sounds really simple, you see on TV, they have quick cuts and oh yeah, that's just no problem. It can be a significant cost. And then plus you need to live without a kitchen if you're changing the kitchen and everything else. Stick with the basics. If you can replace cabinets as they are, don't need to move any walls, just replace flooring, the paint, like we talked about earlier, that's what you're looking for. Major changes to the house, that can definitely lead to significant costs if you don't think about it beforehand. Now this one is very important. It's often overlooked. If you don't feel comfortable in that neighborhood, you're not going to feel comfortable in that house. So how you will know this is if you drive up there before you even step foot in that house. If you're sitting there and you lock your doors, you don't feel comfortable with the neighbors and everything else around you, is your subconscious telling you that you're not going to feel comfortable being inside that house. It's definitely something to look out for. Also, a little test that I do personally, I just think Do I feel comfortable with doing a Craigslist deal at 9 p.m. on a Friday night? If the answer is no, then I move past it. I move to the next neighborhood. I move to the next one. Because if I won't be able to do a Craigslist deal on a Friday night, then why would I be able to get to good tenants? Just something to think about. Probably a huge thing that you have to pay attention to is, where do you work? What do you have to do twice a day, every day, 5 days a week? It's extremely important. You might think right now, like, you have like a 10-minute commute. Like, oh yeah, 45-minute commute, no problem. Doesn't seem that way. A couple weeks, you might have your entire quality of life destroyed. If you have to spend a couple hours every single day, 5 days a week, that could lead to you having to spend an extra 10 hours every single week in a car rather than spending with your family. So make sure that you are mentally prepared for what it takes to do that day in and day out. You come home, you're able to provide enough energy to your spouse, your kids, and make sure your quality of life is good. Because if you don't have that, then what the hell matters? So we all love new things. We are all excited when we buy that house, we're moving in, we're just right before closing. We're like, you know what? We gotta fill this with new furniture. We're gonna throw all those old couches out, the mattresses that were given to us by our grandparents, all that stuff. It's a new life. And you gotta prove for that loan, whether it's a $500,000 house or whatever, based on your income and your debts. So if you just went and you open a new American Furniture Warehouse credit card and you put all of that furniture on that new card to fill your house, we'll come to the closing table. They will check again to make sure you're qualified for that loan. And if you do have that extra debt, it could really screw up everything. You will not be able to close on the house. Well, you're not gonna be able to close on the house. And that's it. Like, for you, that's a huge freaking deal. So don't do it, please. A lot of people make this mistake, and I cannot stress this enough. Don't buy new stuff before you close. After you close, buy all the cool stuff you want. Lambos, furniture, motorcycles, do it all, but not a day before you close. So do you feel overwhelmed right now? Don't be. It's gonna be okay. If you have someone on your side who knows all these things that can help you through this entire process, that's all you need. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. Follow the steps outlined in this video. And if you don't have someone you can trust, don't have someone that can help you through this whole entire process. So I'm James Hunn. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you being on my channel. I'm here to find you the best deals in the Denver metro area market and also get you the best pricing in the Denver area. So please like, subscribe, and hit that little bell, because we will really appreciate an angel getting their wings. Thank you.